Welcome back to Between the Lines, where we explore the stories behind the stories, the threads that weave themselves into our work long before we realize they're even there. Today's episode is personal, it's unexpected, and honestly, it changed the way I see everything I've ever written, because I want to tell you about the moment I realized that all of my novels, Who We Were, The Soul Keepers, The Ashborn, Abigail, Finding Bonnie, and now RACHЫL, weren't just separate books. They were quietly building a shared universe, and I didn't even know it. When I wrote my first novel, I wasn't thinking about metaphysics. I wasn't thinking about ancestral echoes or liminal boundaries. I wasn't thinking about cosmic architecture or narrative convergence. I was just writing the stories that felt urgent. A family saga, a mythic metaphysical epic, a Norse haunting, a historical mystery, a memoir, a psychological, paranormal descent. Different genres, different centuries, different emotional landscapes. But here's the part that still makes me pause. They were all whispering to each other across time, across worlds, across the unseen. I didn't plan it. I didn't map it. I didn't even notice it. Not until RACHЫL forced me to look back. Across all my novels, three invisible structures kept appearing. Long before I consciously understood them. The shadow line, a boundary where trauma, memory, and the unseen intersect. It shows up differently in each book, sometimes as intuition, sometimes as haunting, sometimes as ancestral resonance, but is always there. The liminal line, the threshold between worlds, eras, or states of being. Characters cross it without knowing they've crossed it. Some cross it willingly, and some never return. The ancestral line. This one surprised me the most. Across my novels, characters separated by centuries share emotional, spiritual, and metaphysical patterns. They echo each other, they repeat each other, and they heal each other. It's not reincarnation, it's not legacy, it's something older, something deeper, something that feels like the universe remembering itself through different lives. And I didn't realize I was writing it until RACHЫL. RACHЫL is the book that made the connections undeniable. Not because it explains the shadow line, it doesn't. Not because it ties every novel together, it doesn't. Not because it reveals the metaphysics, it doesn't. But because RACHЫL herself is a convergence point. She is sensitive in ways that echo characters from the Soul Keepers. She is haunted in ways that mirror the Ashborn. She is intuitive in ways that reflect Abigail. She is emotionally attuned in ways that resonate with who we were. She is searching in ways that parallel Finding Bonnie. RACHЫL is not the answer. She is the recognition. She's the moment the reader and I realize this world is bigger than this one story. And that's why RACHЫL is the perfect entry point into the shared universe. It's modern, it's grounded, it's intimate, and it's the first time the shadow line brushes close enough for readers to feel it. Here's the part I love most. You don't need to read the books in any particular order. You don't need to know the mythology. You don't need to catch the connections. But if you do, you'll start noticing things. A detail in Abigail that suddenly feels important to RACHЫL, a moment in the Ashborn that echoes through the Soul Keepers, a theme in Who We Were that reappears generations later, a line in Finding Bonnie that feels like a whisper from another world. None of these are spoilers, none of them give away the plot, but they create a sense of depth. A sense of something larger moving beneath the surface. And that's the magic of a shared universe you didn't know you were building. And it feels organic. It feels alive. It feels like the stories chose each other. So here's my invitation. Read RACHЫL when it releases. Let it unsettle you. Let it intrigue you. Let it make you ask questions. Then if you're curious, go back. Read The Soul Keepers. Read The Ashborn. Read Abigail. Read Who We Were. Read Finding Bonnie. Not because you need to, but because you might start seeing the same thing I did. A universe that was quietly building itself through every story I wrote, that waited until now to reveal its shape, that still has secrets. Thank you for joining me on Between the Lines. Thank you for listening, for being curious, and for stepping into this world with me, even before I realized how big it truly was. In the next episode, we'll explore the shadow line itself, what it is, what it isn't, and why it keeps choosing certain people. Until then, stay curious, stay open, and stay just a little bit on the edge of the liminal.